Plaintiffs Joseph Cañato and his wife Juanita say the defendant is Juanita's mother, and when Juanita was 15 and pregnant, the defendant kicked her out. Juanita says the defendant believed her boyfriend at the time impregnated Juanita, so she had Juanita's former gang members jump her, and she's suing for a van and insurance payments. Defendant Linda Harris says Juanita did not want to follow rules, so she constantly ran away from home. As a result, Linda was forced to have Juanita locked up, and she's countersuing for identity theft and the cost of a car.
Start with you all.
I'm a mother of 3. I know it's not easy being a parent. I'm sure she tried her best as a parent. Okay? Her and I have a very strained relationship.
This is your mom?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
When I was 15 years old, I had gotten pregnant. I was running around with gangs. She had my former gang members jump me because she thought I was sleeping with her boyfriend. She thought I got pregnant by her boyfriend.
No, sir, that's
okay.
not true.
I ended up going to the hospital. Nobody was arrested. She threw me out when I was 15 years old. I've had to sleep on park benches, basically wherever I can lay my head down. I met my husband when I was 15, going on 16. I've been with him ever since. My mother's always hated him.
Why?
My mother was raised to where you marry for money, not for love. She always wanted her daughters to marry for money.
That's not true.
My mother is a very dominant person, as well as my grandmother was.
That's true.
My grandmother always said that men were good for 2 things. Men were good for bringing home a paycheck and doing exactly what the wife tells them to do.
No.
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
My husband, he's my friend, but he's also a good father and a good husband.
How did the relationship between you and your mom break doan?
She was constantly telling me that she wished she had an abortion with me. She always told me I was no good.
That's not true.
Me and my father were best friends. When my father passed away, it got worse. She was always having me locked up for one thing or another. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I was a perfect child, because I wasn't. Mm-hmm. I was a constant runaway to get away from her.
Let me hear from you, ma'am.
She was a runaway. Yes. She did run away all the time. Half the time I didn't know where the hell she was. Pardon my French.
What do you think made her run away all the time?
It was just that she just didn't want to listen to rules and regulations. You got to go. My theory is a child's to go to bed at a certain time, get up at a certain time, go to school,
Structure is called. Mm-hmm.
And come home from school, do your homework. There's my lines there.
Would she do her homework?
No.
Would she go to school?
No.
That is not true.
You did do your homework and go to school?
I did do my homework, and I went to school, Your Honor. My father
had a little sex in between?
Yes.
All right, because you had a baby at 15, don't forget that part.
My father, their marriage was very strained. My father and my mother would argue all the time. She would belittle him all the time.
The thing is I was always raised, when you have a child, you're a mother.
Right. I got your point. You told me that, and about having the structure in the household. You must listen to your mother, obey the rules. True. Otherwise, it's called incorrigibility. And instead of running away, they put you away. Parents need to know that. If your child just refuses to obey your rules, you can have the child prosecuted for incorrigibility. That's a crime. A child can't just not listen, do what they want. So all you parents who say, well, Judge, my son won't listen, call the prosecutor's office. The most that will happen is that the judge will give them probation, typically contingent upon them attending school, listening to their parent, and getting decent grades. Now that second time, if you don't, they're subject to take you out of the household and put you in juvenile. So I just want all the mothers who think that there's no option, there is an option. That option is juvenile hall. Keep that in mind. And let's get to the van and insurance payments you're suing for.
I had a van that I was selling. She needed the van, so I go, okay, you can have the van. You pay me $100 a month plus the car insurance. I will keep the van in my name.
For a total of how much?
In the total of $1,900 for the van.
Excuse me?
You have to stand up. State your name.
Fred Daniels.
What do you want to say?
The van she's talking about, I bought with my 2 Social Security checks.
I bought the van. On top of that, they were supposed to pay the car insurance each month that it was in my name. I have the insurance forms for the car insurance, the Kelly Blue Book, They currently still have the van.
All right.
I had went over to get the van on August 23rd because she has not made any
All right,
payments.
and what happened?
When I went over to get the van on August 23rd, I was attacked.
By whom?
By my sister. She was on the porch directing it. My sister and my nephew
Why?
attacked me because she did not want me to take the vehicle. During the attack, Fred had came out and thrown me the plates to the van.
Yeah, you
Wrong.
I took
You
the
did.
plates and took the van off the road. I then did not, I went after the hospital, I just filed the lawsuit. I did not go back to get the van because for one, she told me it was junked. And then for two, I was afraid of being attacked again.
First of all, the van we bought. That was our van. We bought it. Granted, she didn't put the insurance
Bought
on.
it from whom?
Me.
No,
Quiet. From whom, man?
from a dealer.
What dealer?
All I know is we call him Big Boy.
All right. How do I know who's telling the truth here?
Your Honor,
Anybody got any evidence?
she
I got
claims
a-
to
I got
have
a-
the
I got
She
title.
has the title. Let's
I got
see.
a title.
Let's see the name on the title,
Yeah,
shall we?
the title.
let's see the name
Where,
on the
ma'am, where did you receive the title?
She stole it from me.
Where did you receive the title, ma'am?
About a month ago.
Where? From where?
From the courthouse.
Why didn't you receive it from the place you purchased the car?
Because she had proceeded to take it and tear it up and throw it in the garbage can.
And the officer at the courthouse took it out, handed it to her.
Okay, did any of this happen?
The ripping up, yes.
Why?
That was 2 days after I was assaulted. And here are the pictures of the attack.
And your counterclaim for the cost of a car,
Okay.
prove that.
I had a Eddie Bauer, 98 Eddie Bauer. In October of last year, I gave her the truck. Under the circumstances, she pays me $600.
No, Your Honor, I drive a Chevy Blazer.
Anybody have a receipt?
No.
And your counterclaim for identity theft, ma'am, prove that.
I went to T-Mobile because I was tired of working with Boost and Sprint.
And
and all
then
that.
what happened?
They told me that there's no way that they could give me a phone. And I said, why? And they said, because you got a bill. And I told them they were full of, yeah. And they said, I said, well, how much is the bill? And they go, over $3,000. I said, you got to be kidding me. She got these without my permission.
Okay.
They're in
And
my name with her
How
address.
did you find out?
They gave me a copy of the bill.
Let's see it, please. Ma'am, what do you say
I
to
also
this?
have a bill from
She says she
Frontier.
has a bill that went to your house, and she believes that you ran it up to $3,000.
Your Honor, the bill did come to my house. That part is true. The part of it being mine is not. My mother got evicted once again. Her and Fred were homeless. They had to come stay with me.
When?
I would say October of last year. She has lived with me 4 or 5 different times.
No.
Okay. You've never lived with her, ma'am?
I lived with her twice. This was right after I had gotten assaulted. My Fred and
When
I
was
both
the last time you lived with her, ma'am?
Oh my God, it had to be at least 5 years ago. And when that cell phone bill was taken in, I was living with
You have
my
any
dog.
other evidence that it was identity theft?
No, that's the only thing they would give me. But I have statements from people stating about the.
Who are they?
One is Randy Harris, and one is her
How do they relate?
Randy's my daughter. Keem is Randy's.
She's your daughter also, right?
Yes, sir.
And you all don't get along?
No, we do not.
Okay. I'm going to take a recess because at this point I'm not clear who sold whom what. I'll be back.
Why would you go with her if you didn't for the van?
But she has a statement from King. King is Randy's 18-year-old boyfriend. How does that make any sense?
That's
You know damn well your daughter sleeps with anything that walks.
So
She's your husband.
She's 33 years old sleeping with an 18-year-old. She's already
sleep
been
with your
accused of
husband.
sleeping with a 14-year-old.
She didn't sleep with your husband.
God knows you slept with your husband's brother.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Your nephew's gay.
No, your nephew's gay.
Oh, my nephew's proud to be gay, though. He ain't gay. He's gay fabulous.
I'll give you that one. Got one score.
But see, the difference between us is I know who the father of my children are.
And I know who the father of my children are.
Yeah, one's a carny, one's a milkman, and I think mine's Gary.
Oh. I have 5 kids, 2 legal husbands. I'm my 3rd one.
And 2 you both killed. Don't say I do, Fred. She married Richard. he croaked. She married Gary, he croaked.
Richard ran into a brick wall.
Thank you. To get away from her.
Your father died because he was dating another woman.
Which was your best friend's Molly.
And she was so desperate, she planned a whole wedding dress, cake and all, to a man she never even married.
Joey, just sit there like you always do and just keep your mouth shut. You're better off, guy.
For once, she's being nice to you, huh?
She's always been nice. He's the one that's being rude all the time.
Go back and take your senile drugs, okay?
Stay seated. This court is back in session.
All right, once again, ma'am, so you're suing the defendant, your mother, for $3,269 for this van and insurance payment. And you claim that you sold her the van and she has failed to pay to the tune of $1,900. And you also say that you had to cover the insurance policy that she was responsible for at an amount of $1,369, and you provide me with a bill that purports to indicate the amount owed. Doesn't say $1,369, ma'am. It says $273.
That's a month, Your Honor.
No, that's not true. That's total policy premium. In fact, the policy term is 6 months. So you're trying to deceive me. It says 6 months, the term. And then look at total. It says total. It doesn't say monthly. It says total. 6 months term, total of $273. That makes more sense.
Thank you.
And
I was supposed to be paying her $50
before you get too happy, ma'am, let me tell you about your side.
Okay, I'm done.
So you
I'll
start
take it.
celebrating too much.
No, I'm just celebrating the fact about the van.
In this case, she's saying that she sold you a car and you have failed to pay. Her name is on the title. You claim that she transferred the title to you, yet your name is not on the title.
Because I never went to
Well,
sign
you
it.
have the burden of proving that. She has met her burden. Her only burden was to prove that she was owner of the car.
Okay.
And she has proven that. With regard to the insurance payments, I believe you failed to pay the insurance, but I believe it's only the amount that I just spoke of. So we have $273 plus the $1,900 for the car.
$2,173.
That's your judgment, $2,173. With regard to the cost of a car that you allege you sold her and the identity theft, you have absolutely no evidence of either. You have no evidence.
Well,
so
the bills, she put the bills that
I
she come to her
understand, ma'am,
house.
but you have no evidence. She has some evidence. She has a minimal amount of evidence for both claims that she presents today. You provide me with zero evidence of your claims. So $2,173 for the plaintiff, and ma'am, I'm going to have to dismiss your claim until you come back with some evidence. Have a good day. Judges for the
Thank you, Your
plaintiff.
Honor.